The champs is here.
Yo, we out here on the track where the dreamers run. Each step a testament, here we get it done. Crushing all the hurdles, breaking through the pain. The Texas sun shines bright as we train in the lane. Pushing to the limit, never look back. Texas track dad, we run the show. Talking fast times, how the athletes grow. In the podcast groove, we bring the heat. From the field to the mic, can't accept defeat. From Dallas to Houston, yeah, we're raising the bar. Every athlete's story, every victory a star. We hustle on the field, focus sharp like a spear. The clock's ticking down, but the finish line is near. With every single stride, we own the sound. Texas track dad, we run the show. Talking fast times, how the athletes grow. In the podcast groove, we bring the heat. From the field to the mic, can't accept defeat. From Dallas to Houston, yeah, we're raising the bar. Every athlete's story, every victory a star. We hustle on the field, focus sharp like a spear. The clock's ticking down, but the finish line is near. With every single stride, we own the sound. Texas track dad, we run the show. Talking fast times, how the athletes grow. In the podcast groove, we bring the heat. From the field to the mic, can't accept defeat. So lace up your shoes, let the journey commence. Texas track dad, we build the suspense.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the show. I got another good show today. First of all, happy holidays. I know y'all haven't seen me in a while, but happy holidays to y'all. Hey, shout out to IG. I see y'all jumping in there. Y'all coming in heavy on that IG. But shout out to y'all. Shout out to my folks on YouTube, X, all that good stuff. Got a good show. We got Coach Humphries on here. As well with his daughter, Meagan Humphries. She's a University of Texas athlete. We're going to get into some recruiting. We're going to get into some father and daughter teamwork, working toward our goals and all that good stuff. Like always, if y'all have questions, drop them in the comments. And if I have time, I get those questions over to them as well. But before we do, shout out to TTFCA. We got a winter clinic coming up. Well, TTFCA got a winter clinic coming up. So make sure y'all go to ttfc.org, get registered for that. A lot of good coaches going to be out there, pro athletes. Carl Lewis going to be there, Michelle Freeman, Jasmine Moore, all that good stuff. So make sure y'all get registered for that. Shout out. And also shout out to my guys over there at Trackborn. Go to trackborn.com if you need anything. All right. So let's get this popping. Enough of my talking. Here we go. What's going on, Coach?
Hi.
Hey, Megan, how y'all doing?
Good.
We're doing good.
Doing
Hey,
good.
I want to start off too by saying thank you for letting us get this scheduled, because this is something we were trying to hook up in the summertime but couldn't get it together. You were dropping your daughter off, and then I was dropping my daughter off at college. So thank you for letting us to get it rescheduled now. I think this is a great topic that we need to discuss.
Yeah, no problem at all. I know we've been working hard to get this done, but we had to get those kids to school, man. And it's time went by pretty fast. So now here we are. I'm glad we was able to work it out, man. It's gonna be a great show. I know these parents, man, they're gonna love, to hear from both of y'all. Because y'all, I'm pretty sure y'all know a lot more than I do about some of this stuff. But that's why I made this platform for y'all to come and speak. Before we do, let's do this. We got Coach Humphries in here. Can you just give us a little bit about yourself, Coach?
I've been coaching. Actually, I used to run track, and then when I had kids, I got Megan involved in track. Probably 5 years old.
I think 6.
5. Okay, 6.
Yeah.
And then I was helping with her youth team, but I was just working my regular job and coming to help out when I could. And then COVID happened and made some changes, but COVID also happened in her 8th grade year. So going into high school, the high school coach asked me to come join the team. So that was my first time coaching at the high school level. And I just haven't looked back since then. It was a great. I was so thankful to him as Coach Lonnie. I'm so thankful to Coach Lonnie for allowing me to do that. It forced me to grow, learn, become more of a track nerd because I used to be a 400, 800 runner, but I had two daughters and they're both really good in the jumps. So I learned everything I could about the jumps and, helped Meagan, get a lot of good scholarship offers. So that's
nice. Yeah, we'll get into that too. The impact you had, on Meagan, coming up as a youth athlete all the way to, where she is now. But let me introduce the superstar real quick. Let's do that. We got Meagan Humphries. Here's a little bit about her. She graduated high school. PR, somewhere PRs with 23.5 and then 200. High jump, 5'10", 5'10.25. Long jump, 20 foot, 3.25. Triple jump, 48 inches, 75. Triple, that's triple. Also, man, you do everything.
Yeah.
And these are some good marks on here. This is awesome. A little bit more about Meagan. High school accolades: 4-time state qualifier, 8-time state medalist, 7-time CIF Southern Section champion, first athlete in CIF Southern Section history to win 4 individual titles, which she accomplished in 2023 finals: high jump, long jump, triple jump, and 200 meters. Oh, so that was done at the state meet there?
No, that was so out here we have CIF before state, and she was. So there's been athletes who have won 4 championships before, but usually they're on relays. But the Southern section is probably, the last time I looked, it was like 100 plus years old. So and that's the most competitive. It's considered the most competitive section, not only in California but in the country, with the number of athletes that come out of there. The most competitive, but no one's ever won 4 individual titles. So she was the first athlete to ever do that in one championship meet. So she made history there.
Hey, big, ain't nobody breaking that. That's gonna be there forever. Ain't nobody touching that. So here we go. Let's get on some of these questions here, and I'll be jumping back and forth between you two. Coach, can you share a little about? Well, we already talked about your background, but let's get into this. What inspired you to take a role on coaching your daughter? Is that you take her to somewhere first? You're like, she's not really responding to this coach. I might can do a better job. But what inspired you to coach your daughter?
Yeah. So when she was younger, when she was like when she first got started in youth, I was one of her age group coaches early on, and then I realized that she was using me as a crutch. So, like, Daddy, I'm tired of it. I was like, get away from me. Go do your workout. So I kind of removed myself from that situation. I was still a coach on the team and kind of observing from afar and helping her in the long jump, but observing from afar everything else. But then COVID happened her 8th grade year, and we had an open meet. It was an open high school meet. She jumped in and she jumped 5'2", which at the time for 8th graders was like U.S. #1. So we were excited to see what was going to happen that summer because she had previously was an All-American, like youth All-American in the jumps. And we were really stoked. But then COVID happened, the season was over. And we'd also lost our high jump coach. And I wasn't a high jump coach. So I took it upon myself to take her to get coaching. I got mentors for myself. I learned everything I could and started coaching her because with COVID, I kind of realized how important it is. Like I knew I had a daughter who was talented and who could one day earn a scholarship, one day go to state, all that kind of stuff. But I knew I couldn't rely on other people. And one of the things I learned later about like with high school is like you get what you get. Sometimes, sorry, our cat's making noise. You get what you get. The athletes get what they get. The coaches get what they get. And you can have a great athlete, but they don't always get great coaching, etc. So I took it upon myself to learn what I could learn and try to put my daughter in the best situations I could put her in with regard to getting other coaching and things like that. So her freshman year, the coach at her high school knew I coached from youth, and he asked me to join the team, like again, which I was grateful for. But I used to joke that I would have been one of those parents that would be at the fence anyway, looking at practice every day.
Yeah.
You would have.
Yeah.
But it was I was fortunate too because they didn't have a jumps coach at the high school, so I came over in that role and just kind of grew from there. And it was a great situation. In addition, I will say with Megan's like a little different athlete. She's like very shy and to herself a lot. So not only did I know she could be talented, but I knew I may need to be a conduit between her and some of the other people just to keep her on track and where she needed to get to.
Yeah. You probably knew better what works and don't work. With her, especially COVID. Man, COVID changed a lot of things, man.
Yeah,
it was horrible, man. And I always say when we bring up COVID on the show, or if it come up, if I do a show on that topic, or if somebody say COVID, I always got to do my spiel. And I just like to thank the athletes that are still in track and field today, because for them to go through COVID, all the tracks were down. They had nowhere to practice.
Yeah.
They lost coaches. They grew up with. It affected everybody, man. Yeah. And I just think when that track opened back up, man, these athletes, y'all went crazy, man. That's why all the numbers and it's just been going crazy ever since. Because I think they realized how much they really love the sport, man. And I think the coaches who are still around, the parents and the athletes, man, who's still sticking with it. Because I know it was tough on everybody.
It was really tough out here too, because in California, I don't know if you know this, in California, when they did allow the kids to come back, they had to practice in pods.
Yeah.
So they couldn't even associate with other people on the team who were outside of their event group.
Yeah.
So it was
really
crazy. That was her whole freshman year. She didn't really get to know her teammates if they were in a different event group.
I think, man, I think we all found out a lot about ourselves, man, during COVID, man. I think everybody did, and it's just one of them bad things. I mean, those pandemics, they don't happen often, but we just got caught. Just got caught on this one, man. I do think I know a lot of bad happened, but I do think some good did come out of it, man. That made us better, better people at the end of the day. Coach, do you know somebody named Coach Willie on IG or anything like that? He was asking if you're coaching at where are you coaching at now?
Valencia.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. He was asking about that.
Okay. Yeah.
Here we go, Megan. So how did you get started in track and field? And what events do you specialize in?
Like my dad said earlier, he originally got me in at the age of 6. Same thing happened with my sister. We got brought in early. But I just kept up with it ever since. Before I became a multi, I specialized in the long jump, the 200, high jump, and the triple jump.
Yeah. So how do you balance that? I mean, at one meet, you're looking at how many events you're looking at doing in one meet?
Probably 3 or 4.
3 or 4. So how do you balance that as far as mindset wise and preparation for that?
It takes a lot of preparation, making sure I'm on top of when I'm getting my meals in, just when I'm have to start warming up for whichever event. There'd be a lot of instances where high jump and long jump would be going on at the same time, so I'd have to go back and forth between them. Sometimes even all the way across the field at the same time.
I bet you say busy. Yeah, I bet you say busy. Okay.
I enjoyed it though. I like being busy, so it worked out for me.
I bet. I bet. Do you have any favorite memories from competing in track and field, or a moment with your dad in track and field?
I'm not too sure about particular moments. I know that this isn't specifically with my dad, but I think was it my junior or freshman year when the GB team won CIF. What year was that?
That was so your runners up your freshman year and champions your sophomore year.
It was sophomore year then. When the first high school I went to, Golden Valley, when the girls team won CIF, that was like I've always held that in a special place in my heart because it was just so nice to see everybody like celebrating. It was like just really fond memory. But in terms of specifics with my dad, I couldn't tell you specifics, but just like I'd say the entirety of my junior year just felt really special, just because it was like both of us kind of had our like track experience. It was kind of like uprooted because I had to move schools, so we were both in like a completely new environment. He was my primary coach for like all of my events, so it was like we were kind of just relying on each other, and we managed to accomplish something great. So
okay. So how did you first attract the attention of college coaches? Was it through personal outreach, where did they see you at a meet or something like that? How did you get their attention?
It was a mix of a lot of things. Like, I'm not big on social media, but my parents forced me to make an Instagram account.
Good job, man. Good job.
No, I think it's really important that all athletes should like make some kind of social media platform, just because it's a really easy way for coaches to like find you. I had coaches reach out to me at track meets, and I reached out to a couple coaches as well. I'm sure you could probably elaborate on some of those.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So one of the things, at the previous school where she was at, we were real big on the social media. We kind of locally, we kind of revolutionized the social media out here in the high schools with what we were doing, because we were trying to get it closer to what the colleges were doing with, all facets of lifting up the team and the athletes and having great posts and all that kind of stuff. But we encourage all the kids to have social media, but we also promoted them ourselves.
With the school account.
Yeah. But when specifically what she's talking about, as far as the kids, one of the things we would preach is have a social media presence, post stuff. Too many of the kids back then would have accounts with 0 posts, and they wouldn't even use the story accounts. So I know that now it's changed a little bit, where you see a lot of kids, regular kids, and then some of the elite kids still don't post stuff, but on their main page, whatever. But they show themselves in their story, and they keep the stuff there. But we always pressed, or our thought process was, if you're trying to get attention from coaches, obviously you need to show yourself, being an athlete, show what you can do. But also, a college coach will look at you sprinting, or look at you high jumping or long jumping, or throwing a shot or whatever, and they're going to hopefully you're putting out good marks, but they're going to look and see what they can do. They know, okay, if I add my little secret sauce to this kid, they're here, but I can get them here. So it's really beneficial to have that video to go along, so you're not just a name with some marks on MouseSplit or athletic.net. When they can put the marks together with the visuals, that really helps the athlete. Additionally, when we didn't really think about this early on, but when Meagan was being recruited and we had coaches coming to the house and doing all the home visits and stuff, a lot of them were talking about how they watched everything on her social media, and they appreciated seeing some of the interviews that she had that we put up there. They really showed her personality, because they got to see that she's not only she could athlete, but she's a really good, sweet kid who would come and be a good add to a team, as opposed to some arrogant, cocky kid who might destroy the chemistry of a team, which is also important to the programs.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You hit on a lot in that short conversation you just had. Those coaches, they look at that social media. You might an athlete might think they had a bad meet and don't want to post a video, right?
Mm-hmm.
You post that video, two things going to happen. You got the video on your page is one, but the other thing that can happen is coaches, they can critique what's going on with you. It could be your start, it could be anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if a coach see that, you're like, oh, you know what? That's an easy fix for me. I know how to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
I done fixed it before, right? And I'm glad you were saying that, because time after time, athletes, they reach out about, recruiting information and stuff like that. And I go on their page and where the track videos
at? You wouldn't even know
where the track videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked, hey, have you sent out any questionnaires? Have you DM'd any coaches or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
No, not yet. Okay, if you're a senior, you might want to go ahead and jump on that. You probably should have jumped on that your junior year.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's really important, because you never know who's watching.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people get on social media and stuff every day that don't say anything, but they watch everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much how it goes. So just make sure, athletes, if you listen to this, make sure you posting your stuff. Coach, what do you recommend with them setting up their profile? I know I have my way, but what's your way?
Well, I mean, pretty basic, honestly. I haven't really put a whole lot of thought into it, but just have an account, have your profile picture. If some kid may have, they call them spams, or they have their personals, and then maybe you have one for track, or whatever sport you do, but have your profile picture be you as an athlete performing. And then, post what you can post on there on the actual page, not just the stories. But one of the things too I wanted to hit on is you kind of mentioned reaching out to coaches. This is something where, so Meagan was on a pretty successful team as a freshman and sophomore,
mm-hmm.
and we had a lot of kids who were getting recruited, and some of them were some kids that I coached. And I would meet the coaches, they would come to meets, but I wasn't really ever involved in the recruitment process, because that was something between them and their families. But after going through Meagan's recruiting process, I kind of learned more about that. And some people reached out to me about helping their kids. And there were things that I learned that I thought everybody kind of knew, or was like common sense, for lack of a better term, that wasn't. So one of the things that I would really stress for parents and their athletes, particularly athletes coming off their sophomore year going into their junior year, is to draft an email for these coaches. Like for Meagan, for example, this is something that really, really helped her. As a sophomore, I'm going to kind of look at what we put together. As a sophomore, she was the state runner-up in high jump. So we put together around this time, her going into her junior year, we drafted an email. And in the subject line was California State high jump runner-up, class of 24. And basically she kind of, we used the same template, but we kind of, changed it up for East Coast. But she introduced herself. She said, what she did in the past and what her goals were for that junior year. And they were some pretty high goals, which she actually ended up hitting by the end of the year, which was awesome. Mm-hmm. But she talked about, what her goals were for the junior season, what she'd done. And just let them know that she would appreciate if they would consider her for a prospect to watch, and that was it. So we looked up the coaches, we looked up the schools that we wanted her to consider. Mm-hmm. We sent emails to the head coaches, we sent emails to the event group coaches. And if we didn't hear back, 2 weeks later, so we sent another email. But we got a lot of good response, and it started the relationships and the correspondence with the coaches before her season really got going, and early into the indoor season. So by the time the outdoor season came, and she started her junior year, she jumped early on in winter championship. She high jumped 5.10 in the quarter. That was U.S. number 2 indoors. Later outdoors, it was U.S. number 10. She ran 38.20, which was U.S. number 4 at the time. So that kind of started the process, and it was awesome. But there's people who don't know to reach out, don't know the email. I'll say this too. There was Coach Garnham at Texas. She ended up at Texas. I was looking. We sent Coach Garnham some emails. He never responded, but he saw her competing at Arcadia and was like, wow,
okay.
and that's how that connection came. But
yeah.
the emails helped a lot as well.
Yeah, that email, it works. But what I did, let me ask you this, since I know you're heavily involved, you was heavily involved in your recruiting process with your daughter. Did you help with questionnaires, or were you a parent that was like, she need to do it herself, I ain't doing the question?
She's cracking up. Now me and my wife were heavily involved because our goal was just get her to college.
They wanted to get rid of me.
Yeah.
They helped a little bit.
Do everything we can to get her to college.
Yeah. Hey, I'm the same way. My daughter got recruited. I did a lot of questionnaires. A lot. And I was like, did you do any today or this week? I did 2. I did like 30. Where you doing? But yeah, so parents, here's the thing. We're trying to get our kids in school, right? I mean, they're busy with school. They busy with track practice, and are they really busy? No, but they can't get busy, right? But what I'm trying to say is help them out. If you ain't got nothing going on, go in there and knock out some questionnaires. Do that, right? Send some emails. I did it all. I did questionnaires. I did emails. I did a lot. Because like you said, we trying to get our kids in school. Don't be a parent who's like, oh, they need to do it themselves. They don't want to do it, and it don't work like that all the time. So just get in there if you can help. Create an email. Send an email. I mean, it's easy. You just put your basic stuff in there, PRs, your accolades, contact information, stuff like that. And if you don't hear back from the coach, and that's another thing. If you're not hearing back from the coaches, it's time to move on to somewhere else. All right, because it's a lot of coaches out there. You just got to find the right one. Good. Go ahead.
I even disagree with that a little bit. In the sense that, around Thanksgiving time, her junior year, we started drafting an email, but we didn't actually get back to it and send it out until like Christmas break because I was looking it up. So, my foolish self was like, hey, we sent emails out like December 23rd, 24th, 25th. People are on vacation. They're coming from there at the Bowerman, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on because I didn't know anything about that at the time. But we then had to come back, in January and start resending. And there were people, that didn't see it the first time, didn't see it the second time, but we sent up to 3, and then they saw it and responded. So it's also time, and I would say, at a minimum, give it 2 weeks, but send at least 3. And it also depends on who you send it to. For like example, Florida was a school where I reached out to Coach Peterson, and that was getting around the holiday time. He didn't respond. But after the break, I was like, oh, let me send it to Coach Welty, and she got back like the next day. So it really just depends. You kind of got to circle the wagon if there's a program you're interested in. And just, it's nothing but time. It's nothing but time.
Yeah, you're right. And like I said, those coaches, they get about 300 emails a day. I actually had a coach tell me that. So some of them won't respond. Because you're not fitting what they looking for, but some will. Maybe they missed the email, they go back and see it again. But what I did also, you need to include a catchy title, right?
Yeah.
A catchy title. Don't just send, hey, Texas track dad, I want to run at your school.
That's why for her we put state runner up, but like you want to put something, some kind of accolade you got that'll be like, let me check this out. Just something to get them to open it.
Yeah,
you're right, and I put it in all caps, everything, so they can see it, because you want to stand out. It's baiting a fish, right? You the bait, right? You got to get this fish to bite, and if you're not standing out, you're just gonna fall in the pack. So you need to make sure you being consistent, putting meaningful information on your stuff, and when you're putting your emails out, make sure you get some catchy titles, or I'm not saying go make up anything, but make sure you did do it. But make sure it's in bold letters. Put whatever you got to do to get that coach's attention, and make sure you follow up. That's another thing. Make sure you follow up.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is another thing.
And I also suggest like DMing, social media, all that kind of stuff. One thing I want to say this one thing too before we move on, just because I want to make sure I make this point. I would also like to challenge like the coaches to help the kids, to put them in a position to get recruited. And that's something that's real heavy on my heart right now, specifically because there's a coach reached out to me there's a kid out here who's a state champion who wasn't getting heavily recruited, and the coaching staff didn't do a lot for the kid, and his family didn't know what to do, and so they asked for help. And I won't say the kid or their event group, but they were doing an event, they were championing an event that correlates very heavily to like the 4x4, being a 4x4 participant. And that particular athlete had only run the 400 like one time in their junior year that they won state, and their time wasn't that great. So if I believe in like we as coaches have to not only do what's best for the team, but do what's best for the athletes, specifically the high school athletes, to put them in a position to showcase them to get recruited. So like this particular kid, if this kid would have run the 400 a few more times and shown what they could really do, and hopefully put down some special times to go along with the event that they won the state in, they would be more marketable, more be a higher prospect. With Meagan was fortunate because she was so talented in so many things. There were some schools that wanted her for a sprinter, some schools that wanted her for a jumper, some schools that wanted her for as a heptathlete, and some schools that were even thinking like not only jumps, but she hadn't even run hurdles at that point, but was looking at her as a potential 400-meter hurdler. But it's like we kind of showcased what she could do, and that really helped. But as coaches, put your kids in position to get recruited, put them in the events, showcase them as best you can with keeping in alignment with the team goals, and just get the kids to college.
Coach, you know what? Just put this disclaimer out there. So my pet peeve, this is one of them. And actually I posted this on X the other day. Coaches focusing on relays, loading up these relays instead of focusing on individual athletes, right? Because I've seen it every year I see it.
I know that's big in Texas.
Yeah, every year I see it because they get a lot of points for relays, right? So they stack the relays. They load the relay. I'm not saying it's every school, but it's some schools, right? And I get it. You want to win. That's your job to win. You want to win. You get the title. Bring more people to the school. That's just how it is, right? That's the nature of the beast. But to keep loading kids on relays, and they have potential, like you said, to be a higher prospect in their individual, but they're not getting the work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they too busy. You got them on a 4x2, you got them on a 4x1, the 4x4. How many relays can they be on? But you got them on all these relays, but they're not getting no work in their individual. They're not getting no work. So with that said, I think parents, they need to realize that. Okay, it seems like my kid's gonna be out on relays, so I need to reach out to somebody else for some extra training, right? But then if you do that, that's gonna be another problem because the high school coach might not want you going to nowhere else, for training. It's a headache, really. But if the kid has some talent, if you see you're a coach, if you see a talented kid, let's work on some of that individual stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Don't leave that kid on relays like that the whole year. I see it all the time. I'm just like, man, she was a good 400 runner. Why was she stuck on relays the whole year in high school?
I want to explain it to Megan, and you correct me if I'm wrong. So in Texas, for like in California for the relays, you get 10 points a state and all that. In Texas, they get double when they get 20 points.
They get 20.
Yeah. 20 points, yeah.
They get 20 points.
A kid might be lucky to get one individual event because they're on all these relays. Might be a 4x1. Like, do they have 4x2 at state in Texas?
Yeah, they have 4x2.
Yeah.
So,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, 4x1.
Mm-hmm.
They get the 4x2. You know that, right?
I gotta say one thing. I'm sorry. I was going. One thing I like about California is in California. This is kind of a pet peeve of mine with the other states like Florida, Georgia, Texas. In California, we have one state meet and everybody lines up.
Oh, right.
Like draw a line, the best lineup, boom. But in in some of these other states, they have classes where we don't do that. So I feel like that's what makes California.
Wait, you have to explain that to me a little bit. So at the state meet, y'all don't have divisions. It's just like
it's just
everybody.
Everybody. Yeah.
Really?
So like for Megan, for example, that her junior year when she won CIF, it was really special because she went to state in those same 4 events and she scored 25. She was high scorer than me. She scored 25 points and she placed 3rd as a team by herself against the whole state of California. By herself, she was 3rd place as a team. And I think points wise, there was one lady who won state. I forget her name. Like she scored 40 points in the 80s. But Gail Devers and Tara Davis are the only people, and that lady whose name I'm forgetting are the only people in the state of California who scored more points than Megan at the state meet. But if you I'll say all that to say that if you're a state champion or a state runner-up or whatever in California, you're probably a really, really good athlete because you're not a 6A, 5A, 3A. You're just the champ. So it's like really competitive. So that's something I think is special about out here.
That's interesting. For one, first thing, y'all get 10 points for relays. What are we doing, Texas? What are we doing out here? 20 points for relays? And
that's crazy.
Cali getting 10 points? But it's been a lot of people trying to fight that for the longest. You know, they've been trying to fight it, and they want to stick with it. But man, I wish we'd had that.
But what I would do if I was a coach out there and I'm trying to help my kids go to college, I wouldn't necessarily put them have to run the relay like every invitational. Maybe some of the big ones, but at least give the kids opportunities to shine and again showcase them. Yeah. And then as we get into the whole state meet and roll the state, relays, one event. But
yeah, I don't think the no division thing will work in Texas because we got too many kids.
But we're also we're heavily populated too, but it is what it is. So that's a counter argument against it. Like population wise, we're probably closer. We might have more. I'm not sure. I know we got to have more people than Florida and more people than Georgia, but they have classes also. Yeah,
because we got 1A through 6A. Then we got so that's all in itself. 1A through 6A thousand. That a lot of kids, right? So then from there, we got private schools, right? We got TAPS.
Are they separate?
They separate. Yeah, they separate. They a whole other thing.
What?
That's crazy.
Yeah. So you got UIL. You got UIL here. This is gonna be the public schools here, 1A through 6A, right? And those schools are when you get from now from 4A to 6, they loaded with talent, loaded.
Right. Yeah.
And the 1 and 2As and 3As, it's some go-getters in there too. So okay, you got UIL 1A through 6A, right? This is the bubble here. Then you got the private schools here on the other end, the TAPS, some more private schools or whatever. So they really don't meet each other.
That's crazy.
Because the TAPS got their own stuff, but if they go to Texas Relays, the high school meet down there, private school athletes, they can go run with the UIL kids if they want,
right,
or whatever. So they can run up. You just can't run down. You can run up You know, and in that other division, you just can't run down. But it's that's hey, it's Texas, man.
That's crazy.
But it's a lot of kids. Man, and I tell people all the time, every year, especially at that, like building up the state with the Texas kids, man. So they have, district, right? They have district, they go to district, then they go to regionals. So their regionals is like a state meet.
Yeah.
Because you got all that talent that's there. You run in 2 state meets, right? So you run there and you make it, then you go to state, you gotta run fast again. But again, with that, through their whole season, them 4A kids up to 6A, they run and running the whole season, and it's just crazy.
Do only 2 like athletes per event get out of regionals to go to state? Is that how that works?
I think it's 2, and I think the third is like a decision thing or something like that, as far as I know. Yeah. But it's just like, if you make it out of the regional top 2, you probably gonna win state, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
In Texas, because that regional is a state meet.
Y'all got crazy talent and usually got the best talent overall, in the country. But it drives me crazy being out here where everyone lines up to see people like 18-foot long jumpers, a state champion, or a 5'6" high jumper, and 25-second 200 runners, or 12 anything in 100 they're state champ. That drives me crazy.
Yeah. It's man. I don't know what we're gonna do, man, because like down here, the UIL, the public schools, they kind of realign the districts or whatever, every year, and I'm just like, dude, it's still loaded. it's still loaded, and I don't know. That's just a whole nother topic, man. I talk all day about
we got way off tangent.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. But back to recruiting, guys. Back to recruiting. Let's see here. So, Meagan, why Texas? Why did you pick Texas?
Coaches are incredible. They've been able to do some amazing things with their athletes. It's an incredible school. It's really good academically. The team has been amazing. It's also the fact that the athletes get to practice with the pros. That's also just something that I found really, really cool. But I'd say when I was looking at when I was considering what I was looking for in a school, I really didn't have a kind of guideline for what to look for in my head. But one thing I was really focused on was that I wanted to go somewhere where I would be considered an underdog, or that there'd be a lot of people above me that I could look up to. I wanted to be somewhere where I wouldn't be the best athlete or one of the best immediately upon being there. And again, Texas has some incredible athletes, and it just really felt like the right place for me based on what I was looking for.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds like you done your research on the school, and you felt that was the best fit for you, and that's where you are, and that's another important thing that I believe every athlete should do. Yeah, go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
I want to add, from as a parent.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because for Meagan, it was her choice, but my wife and I were trying to guide her a little bit. And one of the things that we liked is a lot of schools wanted someone for help, someone her for other events.
Right.
But we felt like going into her senior year, she hadn't done a multis event yet. She later would do that and be a national champion, all that kind of stuff in pentathlon. But it was really about her potential, what she could be. And we felt like we were measuring up her marks with some of the best, like Anna Hall, for example, in high school. And a lot of their marks were parallel. And we just felt that Meagan, as a long jumper or as a sprinter or something, she could develop and possibly be an All-American. But, it might be really, really tough because it's just so much incredible talent. But as a heptathlete, we felt like she could, especially going through Texas with what they had done there, we felt like if she spent 4 years there, she could probably leave college as like one of the all-time greats in NCAA as a heptathlete. So that's what we were looking at, and potentially an Olympian, with how good she was as a high schooler with all the different events. So we were looking at like who can develop you and put you in the best position, but also get a great education. So we were real high on Texas, but ultimately it was her decision.
Yeah, I always laugh when parents say, "Yeah, they made that decision on their own." Come on, Coach. Come on.
What about your daughter? Like, your daughter, because I do want to like talk
Yeah.
a little bit, because like I feel like we daughters graduate at the same time. We're going through this process at the same time. What was it for you, and what made her pick Indiana?
Man, and that's one of them things, man. She that process, man, was so it's fun at the beginning, man. It's really fun at the beginning, but it gets stressful.
Yeah.
It gets stressful on the family. It gets stressful on the athlete. I mean, she still got emails she wasn't even able to get back to. But anyway, so she went on her visits or whatnot, and she came back from the school, and she was like, well, she called me while she was there. She was like, I want to commit to this school right now. I want to do it. 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 I want to be here. I'm like, whoa, whoa. You got Indiana. You got Indiana next week. Then she was lining up for K-State out there, Indiana, or whatever. But I'm like, whoa, just pump your brakes. Go see what Indiana's all about, right? So she go down there, man, and she was down there, and my wife called me like the second day because I had to work. I wanted to go. She called me. She was like, Leah's mad. I'm like, what's she mad about? She love it down here. She love it down here in Indiana. She love everything about it. Like the academics, man. Because she want to go into like sports medicine, man. They got a good school of health program down there. The coaches, Coach Matthias down there, Coach Brown, they're in the process of rebuilding that program, man. And I'm the type of person, if you tell me you're going to do something and you don't do it, it's no good with me, right?
Yeah.
But if you tell me you're going to do something and you follow up and you continue to prove who you are, I'm with that. And there's Indiana proved that, you know what I'm saying? And they prove it to this day. Like right now, they still in Indiana is like I don't want the show to be about Indiana and and what's going on with my daughter, but it's like uncharted waters down there because a lot of people didn't know about it. I didn't know about it, right? But that school, man, it's on a whole nother level, man. As for not only with their athletic facilities and everything else they got going on down there, man, their education down there is pretty top notch, know. And so when she went down there, man, she fell in love with the school. She fell in love with school, and she actually committed while she was down there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, she actually committed while she was down there, man. And like I say, ever since, man, every time you see me in some movie stuff. I mean, yeah, man. And she just like, it really felt like home. It felt like home. And like I say,
I'm from Indiana. So it's just been cool watching you and your daughter's situation, and for me, it's like kind of insight to what they got going on, the stuff I didn't know. So it's just really cool that you share all that.
Man.
Profiles.
Yeah, and it's I love it down there, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be down there a couple of weeks. Well, when she go back, we'll be back down there the following week because they got an indoor meet. Cool. So, but yeah. She like I say, man, she thought she had it figured out, but like I say, she had Indiana already scheduled. Then she was working on another one, and I'm just glad she went ahead and just heard me out with a little whoa, and it worked out for her, man. It worked out for her.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Oh yeah, Meagan, let me ask you this. So you ran, I seen on your PR, you ran like a 23-5 and a 2 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me ask you this. This is one of my important questions right here. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Here you go. Are you faster than Texas Track Dad?
I'd be interested in finding out.
Don't let me fool you. You are. Don't let me fool you. You are. Hey, you know I'm not running on 25. Nothing right now. It's not going to happen. You are definitely faster than me. Coach, have you seen, you might have hit on this a little bit, but have you seen your daughter grow through track and field, both as an athlete and a person?
Absolutely. A lot of growth, a lot of maturity. One of the things we learned about Meagan, like she's very absent-minded at times, and she's a big goofball. But when she's competing, she's a beast.
Yeah.
And she used to hate this when she was little. I used to tell her, "Remember who you are." She would be like, like she rolled her eyes now. She'd roll her eyes like, "Oh yeah." But she became a beast. And what did we say? Like you always rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like no matter like she can handle high pressure situations. She's shown that time and time again, especially like in championship meets. So now she's like kind of dealing with that in college. So it's a whole different level. Mm-hmm. And she's also been going through a level of maturity and growth and everything. So it's great to continue to see that as well. And you know, we're her mom and I are very proud of her, and you know, we can't wait to see what she accomplishes.
Nice, good. And Meagan, let these athletes know how busy you really are in college, because you got school, you got practice, then you got weightlifting.
Yeah,
you got a busy day, right?
It's pretty busy, but I'd say everything is kind of jam packed into like one block. So it's like by the evening, I have a lot of free time. Well, we have mandatory study hall, but other than that, I have like a lot of free time in the evening. But like from the when you wake up to like little into the evening, you're like constantly on the go. It's like morning weightlifting, then you got classes and you got practice. Everything's like back to back to back, but it's fun though. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. It's enjoyable.
Oh yeah. You'll definitely enjoy yourself down there, and like I say, it's a different mindset. You're in a new environment. You got to get used to that. I was talking to one of my daughter's friends the other day. She came over. She was home from college too. Just hang in there. You're gonna be busy. You just got to get used to everything. You'll be good to go. College is different, but it's fun. It's worth it. Coach, what advice would you give other parents who coach their child in sports, in track and field? What advice can you give them, Coach?
Just let's say, she's gonna laugh at me. Patience, gotta have patience. But one of the things I learned the most is to not don't always bring it home. Try to limit the conversations at home and things like that, because like I'm obsessed with track. Yeah. And she don't always want to hear that. You get it enough at school and their practice, so it's like when you get home, they kind of want to tune that out and do something else. So just being mindful of that and being, a parent first, or, and having an ear for your kid and what they're going through, but just kind of like don't always, talk about it, 24/7.
Yeah. And Coach, you hit on a lot of stuff, because I say it all the time, with parents just track only, and it's more on the young, the youth, the young kids, high school, middle school, stuff like that, and it's just all track. I get it, the track athletes, I understand that, but make sure they, being a human being too, make sure they going out and doing something other than track, right? Because you got to have a balance somewhere, right? They got a lot of time to get ready, for college and everything like that. Just let them enjoy life a little bit, and it's just one of my things too, especially going to JOs, seeing a parent yelling at a 10-year-old because they get a gold medal in a 100-meter dash is silly to me, but that's just me. But athletes, they need lives. They need lives. Go ahead.
And that's not just gonna say, like, thinking about that too. It's like, some of the kids at those meets are some of the most talented kids in the country, but and the parents are investing all this time, a lot of finances into the travel and the coaching and all that kind of stuff, and you don't want to do all that, for not, like, to the point where you turn them off so bad they're burnt out, and then they don't want to continue in high school or they quit in high school.
Yeah.
You want to try to keep it fun, keep it enjoyable, to the point where their talent just shines so bright, and you get that return on investment with regard to, like, getting scholarships and stuff, but just protect it, keep it fun, and don't get them burnt out.
Yeah. Hey, and another thing, parents with young kids, those Happy Meals go a long way. Have you ever promised your kid a Happy Meal before a race? Shoot. Hey, they in there. They on that podium. You hear me? They on that podium ready to go. I just got one more question, Coach, and we're going to get out of here. We got the holidays tomorrow. Let's see. If you could go back to when you started coaching Meagan, is there anything you would do different?
I think probably not be so serious all the time and try to be, like, I don't know, I guess just not be so serious. I can't think of any time where I did anything just completely crushing or anything like that. But can you think of anything?
No, I was thinking I can't think of not specific.
I tried to always be, like, super supportive and pushing, but not pushing too much. But I guess I would say just probably just not bringing it home, talking about it 24/7 at home. That's something I had to learn by being told, like, you're doing too much. I need a break. So just being a parent at home, if you're a parent/coach.
And I agree with you on that. We all been guilty of it, especially when the athletes are younger, putting pressure on the athletes. But you got to learn that it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. It's too much pressure on them. Mental health is important.
Exactly.
You just want to make sure you didn't get it this time. We'll work on it. We work on it. Don't stress the kid out. Just don't do it. Or college athlete. Just don't do it. I think by the time the kids make it to college, they get scholarships and stuff. Us as parents, we kind of figured y'all out by then. We kind of figured y'all out by then. We let y'all do y'all thing. We know what works and what don't work. And that's the point that everybody need to get at, because burnout is real, mental health is real. Do not put a lot of pressure on your athletes on any level. It's not good. It's not good. Y'all got any shout outs before we get out of here?
So TJ Wiggins told me to shout him out. He's an athlete. He's one of our old athletes on our former team. He's a thrower now at the University of Missouri. So we're Meagan to be seeing each other at conference and stuff like that. But I just want to thankful to all the coaches, Coach Lonnie, Coach Damien, Coach Marlene, Coach Pikes, the current school I'm at. Just all the coaches, that helped myself or helped Meagan. And that's it. I just want to encourage, like, just all the coaches out there and parents, like, just remember, like, we're all growing, we're all learning. We're never perfect. We don't know everything, and try to continue growing and evolving and being better coaches, better parents, all that.
No, nothing I can think of.
Oh, and Coach Lonnie, who's going to be, this is one of the best coaches in California, who is going to be moving to Houston, Texas soon. And y'all getting a good one out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, we can use them. We got a lot of kids down here. we got a bunch. But thank you, Coach, and thank you, Megan, for coming on here.
Thank you.
I already got people on IG asking about this show, where they can get a clip from it, about the recruitment stuff you was talking about. So it's the information is being used. It's being used because a lot of parents don't know. Sometimes we kind of assume. I used to assume, I wonder, do this parent know about this? Or then I reach out to them, they don't know. A lot of people don't know, about this stuff. But I just thank y'all for spending time with me on a holiday. It's a holiday tomorrow. But thank y'all for coming to the show. I really appreciate y'all.
No problem.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're welcome.
For allowing us to put this together months later. We appreciate that.
Oh yeah, we finally got it going. And Megan, have a great season, Coach.
Thank you.
You have a good season. Of course, I'll be watching you on IG, and you just keep up the good work. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
All right. You too. All right, guys. I'm out. Go follow me, Facebook, Instagram. Oh, hey, if they want to follow you on IG, Megan, what's your handle?
Miss Humphries. That's the one. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So her last name is Humphries, so it's Humphries. MSJUMPHRIES.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, Miss. Hey, I had to look at that twice early. I said, "Is this Humphries?" Yeah. So it's Miss Humphries. Just replace the H with a J. It gets you there. I'll put it in the comments too. But guys, hey, thanks for watching. We got well over 200 people watching the show. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff, guys. Hey, Coach, thank y'all once again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
We are out of here, guys.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
Hey, you know what? So I didn't want to bring it up because I thought about it late. But
Hold on one second. Let's see. Let's do this right here.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
The champs is here.
Yo, we out here on the track when the dreamers run. Each step a testament, here we get it done. Crushing all the hurdles, breathing through the pain. The Texas sun shines bright as we train in the lane. Push it to the limit, never look back. Texas track that, we run the show. Talking fast times, how the athletes grow. In the podcast groove, we bring the heat. From the field to the mic, can't accept defeat. From Dallas to Houston, yeah, we're raising the bar. Every athlete's story, every victory a star. We hustle on the field, focus sharp like a spear. The clock's ticking down, but the finish line is near. With every single stride, we own the sound. Texas track that, we run the show. Talking fast times, how the athletes grow. In the podcast groove, we bring the heat. From the field to the mic, can't accept defeat. From Dallas to Houston, yeah, we're raising the bar. Every athlete's story, every victory a star. We hustle on the field, focus sharp like a spear. The clock's ticking down, but the finish line is near. With every single stride, we own the sound. Texas track that, we run the show. Talking fast times, how the athletes grow. In the podcast groove, we bring the heat. From the field to the mic, can't accept defeat. So lace up your shoes, let the journey commence. Texas track dad, we build the suspense.